I bet if I had curly hair right now and a mustache, I could pass as you.
And I bet that if I had a beard and straighter hair, I could pass as
Look at
you.
these shirts. Actually, one's the Muppets and the other is, what was it, Buffalo?
Buffalo, what is it?
What is Buffalo? I literally just, I go in my closet, just throw it into the air.
Yeah, but when you got the shirt, you had to be inspired by it, right? You're not just posing as a Buffalo fan.
Let's just say that was a gift. Update!
GameFront!
Update! GameFront update.
I really like when you say update.
Why?
Because you sound ridiculous.
I don't sound ridiculous. It's a ridiculously sounding thing to say.
When I do it.
Update.
You just aren't staccato enough. There has to be a separation between the so it has to be update. Like that.
Well, if you're so good at it,
but
why would you make me do it?
Because I like to hear you do this.
So, GameFront update time. I wanted to spend this update talking about the Xbox One, and more specifically, one aspect of the Xbox One that we found out. The fact that, yes?
First off, I want to make sure that everybody knows one of the major problems with the Xbox One is that early people buying this on eBay must be careful to make sure that they're not getting the first Xbox and they're getting the new Xbox One.
Did you see that that retweet that I made on Twitter and that I posted on Facebook?
No. What did it say?
I went into GameStop today and I asked the store clerk, what are your thoughts about the Xbox One? And the store clerk replied, "We don't sell those anymore."
There we go. Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. What's up?
I'm just making this. There we go.
The thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that apparently on the Xbox One, and this is all Microsoft hasn't really come out and clarified all this stuff yet. So take this all with a grain of salt. But it seems like Microsoft is saying that every game that you get, there's a mandatory install, and then you can play the game without the disc, and it is tied to your gamer tag. So everyone in your household, regardless of what their gamer tag is, they can play the game on that Xbox. But if you took your game and you decided to bring it to a friend's house, you could only play it if you were logged into your gamer tag.
Okay.
You couldn't just take the disc, give it to them, let them borrow it, and then go home and then have them play it on their thing. In order for them to play it, they would have to pay a fee, which would be the full cost of the game.
And they said the full cost of the game is the fee?
Yeah. That's what they've said. And then the other part of that is they are also saying that there is going to be a system that allows for you to get money from Microsoft or get some sort of compensation for your game if you want to sell it. So you might be able to basically terminate your license for that game and get something back from Microsoft, whether it's Microsoft points, whether it's actual cash. We don't know for sure yet. Microsoft isn't talking about it. But effectively, this is going to kill used games for Microsoft.
It sounds like it. I mean, if all those things are true, it's certainly going to make it a lot more difficult for GameStop to continue its business plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And let's be clear, I'm not the biggest fan of GameStop as a corporation. I think they do some shady stuff. But, they're important in the world of video games.
How so?
Well, they are the biggest retailer of games. If I'm thinking I need to go get a game, I'm generally going to go to GameStop because I think they're going to have the best selection.
Yeah, mostly because of their used games, though.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for a new game, it's probably not the best place to go.
Yeah.
Especially not a AAA title. You can probably get a better deal at one of those other giant corporations.
Yeah. So, I wanted to pass this along to you, James. What do you think about this? Are you going to miss used games? Do you think this is a mistake by Microsoft? Do you feel bad for the companies like GameFly that basically revolve around the second-hand video game market?
I have a couple feelings. First of all, I don't want anyone to get the interpret my feelings on this as not liking GameStop employees. I've had friends that worked at GameStop, EB Games, Funko Land, if anybody remembers that or existed anywhere outside of the Midwest. But I don't particularly like how much money they make off of the used games. A lot of times, especially the newer used games, like let's just say, I'm not, it's just a title, Call of Duty. Call of Duty comes out and it's $59.99. Now, new, brand new. Now that week, if they happen to have a copy of Call of Duty that's used and you buy it, it'll be like $49.99. Or probably more like 55.
It's probably going to be 55.
It's probably going to be 55. So all that, and who, when you trade in your Call of Duty, you're probably getting $30. So they're getting a huge extra chunk of cash. And I would be surprised if they even did give you $30. So I don't think GameStop is helping the video game industry. My hopes would be that if we eliminated so much used games, and so many people using GameFly, which I was a member for a long time and enjoyed it while I used it, but if we got rid of those, perhaps the game companies would, like the developers and people publishing them, would make more money, and maybe they would even bring the cost of games down. Now, realistically, every company is going to be like, oh, I get more money, so they're not going to make it cheaper. I wish that was the case, and I'd almost want to give them the benefit of the doubt to just see what they do. Like, what if Microsoft drops the price of their games because, A, a lot of those games are now going to be cloud sale. Because if you really are just getting it attached to your gamer tag, what is the point of going to the store? And if they can stop the bricks and mortar aspect of their business plan, hopefully they will bring the cost down to the users, to the players. And even if they don't, hopefully, and I'm hoping for the latter, cheaper games. I think that games at $40 would be a lot more affordable. But maybe they'd make better games because they'd have more money to put into games. Now, I feel bad because as an adult, I can take my money and spend it on whatever I want. But I, believe it or not, started off as a gamer as a child, and I had to work for my money really hard. And I would get to choose one game to purchase per season, probably. And that was if I was lucky. I could rent a couple games from the rental places that used to be open for that. But that's going to disappear for kids. So they're not going to have the opportunity to play as many games. And it will be even a struggle for their friends to share which game they chose to purchase that season. Sorry, I talked a long time about that.
No, it's all right. So, I mean, just overall, would you say that the used game market is detrimental to the game industry?
I don't think it helps. And if you're not helping it, you're hurting it. So, yeah, I do think that it's hurting it.
That's where I disagree because I do think that the used game market does help.
Okay.
And I think that the scenario that you mentioned where a new game comes out and, someone buys it used for $55, I hope to God that isn't really happening on a wide scale. That is so dumb to me that someone would pay just $5 less to get a game that doesn't support anyone other than GameStop.
Yeah.
I don't think that is the case. I think that most people who buy games used are looking through the bargain bins. They're looking for games that they can buy for $20 or less.
Yeah.
And generally, if a game is selling for $20 used, it's probably about $40 to $35 new. That's my personal experience with used games. I think that does help. I think when I was penniless, basically, when I was in college and just making enough to pay through my living expenses, I couldn't afford to really buy new games. They were too expensive. But what I ended up doing was I would buy used games. Eventually, I would wait for some sort of used game promotion where if you sold 3 games, put it towards a new game, you could bring down the price of that new game by about $30, maybe $40.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you buy a new game. That money still goes to the developers and publishers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a game that I can get, I can play, I can become a fan of that game, and when that game has a sequel, I'm more likely to buy the sequel to that game when it first comes out. That's my perspective of why I think there is a big benefit when it comes to used games for publishers and devs.
And I'm not hardcore about my own point of view, but as the devil's advocate, you're trading 3 games in, getting a fraction of the cost that they're going to charge later. And then the money that somebody buys your 3 games for is not going to the developers. It's going right into the used game market.
At the same time, though, those games that I traded in are most likely going to be older games that probably are not, selling like hotcakes anyway. A game like Mass Effect, which has its price go down, after a year or so, probably got the majority of its units pushed in the first month or two. So I don't think that EA is going to be that affected by people buying Mass Effect for cheap used.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be beneficial to them because they've already probably made their decision whether they're going to make a sequel to it in the first couple months when they see the sales, they see the Metacritic. I don't think that me buying a used copy of Mass Effect 1 for $15-20 is really going to hurt them that much.
Probably not going to hurt them that much, but my bigger thing is they give you such a small amount of money for the games that they're selling. And I know that they have to, at a GameStop, it is a big business, and they have to make enough money to support that business. But it's a slap in the face sometimes when you go there and are given change.
It is. It totally is. Once again, I'm not trying to defend GameStop as a corporate entity. I think they have some pretty questionable, activities when it comes to the pricing of their used games. But we also should consider if Microsoft becomes the sole company that is able to give you money for your games that you're selling, they have a monopoly. They can charge you they can give you whatever they want. There's at least with GameStop, you have competition. You can go to a mom and pop. You can go to Best Buy. You can go to GameFly.
That's not quite a monopoly because you have then PlayStation and you have Steam and you have Nintendo.
I'm talking about just Microsoft games.
But then you would have the choice of going into a different gaming market because and there is some exclusives.
Within the Microsoft,
Okay, I'm picking hairs at this point. Picking hairs. I'm being picky. But yeah, I don't know. I just I understand how tough it is to afford stuff because I'm still not particularly rich. I eat a great deal of ramen noodles now, but
he doesn't eat lunch.
I don't eat lunch. Never. Ever.
He eats a bagel in the morning and that's it.
And then I eat just raw vegetables and things at home when I get there. I don't get sick.
It's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. We've actually, it felt like it was really short, but we talked for a long time.
Yeah, we had both at least one monologue. Mine was probably too long. I hope I didn't lose a bunch of people on it. But yeah, so that's my point of view on it. I really don't think that the used game market is helping the video game industry. And if it's not helping it, then what is it there for?
Yeah, I haven't decided whether I want to get an Xbox One. I'm excited to see the games that are going to come out, but man, E3 this year, Microsoft has to knock it out of the park because I'm not happy about a lot of things with regards to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we really want to hear what you think. Let us know who's right, me or James, or what you think.
Yeah.
Are both of us wrong?
We might be. There might be another angle that I haven't looked at it from.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on a lot of it, Mitch. But at the same time, just hate going in there with my 5 games that I spent like $60 on, and then be like, well, here's $4. That's all we can do.
There are times when it feels like you got mugged in an alley when you come out of the GameStop.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like,
comment,
and subscribe.
Do not interrupt the song or you'll be served.
Oh, that's a shitty song. You are a bad musician. I do like the arts, but you're messing it up for everybody. Die, bitch. Not shot. Uh-oh. That's it?